Hi, I'm Melissa Neese with EDM 310 at the University of South Alabama, and I am here with Karen Upton, former kindergarten teacher at Van Cleve Lower Elementary.
Hi.
I'm going to ask her a few questions. You hear a lot about students in America falling behind other countries. Do you think Common Core is the answer to bring American students up to others' standards?
Common Core by itself is not the answer, but Common Core with good teachers is the answer. I think any good teacher can follow the Common Core and bring students up to standards like our nation expects us to.
I agree. Okay. When I was in junior high, I had a geometry teacher that thrived on embarrassing his students, and it was hard for me to learn in his classroom. And then in high school, I had his wife for an English teacher, and she was nice, and I felt like I learned so much from her. Do you think, or what do you think is the best way to teach students?
I certainly don't believe that embarrassing students is the best way to teach them. I think that you have to find your knack as a teacher to get kids to listen to you and to comprehend what you're saying to them. I feel like any natural born teacher has that ability without even trying hard, but it's the other teachers who are not naturally born teachers who struggle with finding the right way to teach the students correctly. And I think you just have to find your knack and show respect to the students because all students can learn regardless of their background or their history, or regardless of your background or history as a teacher. Every student is capable of learning, but you have to find the right way to teach them, and that's going to look different for every person and even with every classroom that the one person has.
Very good. Okay. My next question is technology is changing constantly. How do you integrate technology into your classroom?
In my classroom in kindergarten, we use the smart board and we use computers every day. The students go to a rotation in their centers for computers, and they can use the internet to do free access places like starfall.com that will teach them how to read and use the calendar correctly. And the smart board, all the kids love to use the smart board, and it's very easy to incorporate that into your teaching.
Okay. What are your thoughts on project-based learning?
Project-based learning is how I teach everything in my classroom to kindergarten students. I think it is a fantastic idea if it's done correctly. I think that utilizing mini lessons with the project-based learning where you teach a small lesson and then have the kids cooperate together to do the lesson is the best way to do project-based learning.
Okay. And then my final question is, do you think any grade can benefit from project-based learning?
I think every grade can benefit from it. I would love to walk into a middle school classroom and see project-based learning that looks a lot like my kindergarten classroom, but it doesn't happen very often. Either the teachers are afraid to do it or the kids don't understand how to do it. But I think it would be very effective in all classrooms all the way from kindergarten to 12th grade.
Do you think it is easier for students to cheat off of each other when they have when they work in groups, or like in project-based learning, to be able to, if it's put on the computer, for them to be able to look back at previous years and cheat off of their work?
I'm not sure. We've never had to put our lessons on the computer, save them to computer, but I would think that your students would want to get something out of the class they're teaching them, and they wouldn't want to cheat, but they could maybe use those examples to see where to go, because sometimes it is confusing when your teacher tells you this is what I expect out of you and you've never done it before. It is very confusing and frightening sometimes, but if you had those examples there to guide you, I wouldn't cheat if I were in that situation. I'm not sure how the students would feel.
Okay, my last question for you is, what is your advice for a new teacher?
My advice for a new teacher is be flexible. Even when you put out your best lesson plan and you're ready to teach to the best of your abilities, somebody's going to throw up or pick their nose or need their pencil sharpened, and you have to know how to be flexible in those situations. And if that's not the case, the fire bell's going to ring and you have to go out for a fire drill and you're going to be stuck outside for 3 hours. You have to be flexible because your best laid plans can and will change at a moment's notice. Most days, yes, you'll have a normal day and things will go as planned, but sometimes those days will be in there where nothing goes right. And my advice would be, remember to stay flexible. It's not the end of the world when it doesn't happen correctly the first time. So just hang in there.
I bet that happens more often in kindergarten than any other grade.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Karen.
You're welcome.